The Safavids were founded in 1501 by Ismail. Ismail founded the Safavids by capturing most of Iran and Iraq. He instantly tried to expand the population of the new empire by sending preachers to Turkish tribes in the Ottoman Empire and getting the preachers to convert them to Shia Islam. Ismail also founded it by declaring himself the king of the new Persian state. The only acceptable religion by the Safavids were Shia Islam, and all other religions were suppressed. In the later of the Safavid dynasty, women were forced to cover themselves fully, and then also had to wear something that covers the top of their head. Safavids not only tortured Sunni Muslims, but also Shiites, with different views, and they did the same to all other religions. Alien shrines were destroyed, and Sufi mystics were banned. The wars that were in 1501, 1503, and 1504 were very important towards the Safavids because they needed to win those in order to expand their territories and spread their power. In 1501, they conquered Azerbaijan and defeated Alvin the Aku Kunlu. In 1503, they conquered Shiraz and Fars, and lastly in 1503, they conquered Mazandaran and Gurgan. With those wars, they could also spread their religion, which was Shia Islam. Those three wars were very important to them because if they were able to spread their power, they were able to influence different empires to theirs, and also be able to build a strong foundation to their new empire. The Ottoman and Safavid War of 1623 to 1639 was the last of a series of conflicts fought between the Ottoman Empire and Safavid Persia. Then the two major powers of the Near East over control of Mesopotamia. After initial Persian success in recapturing Baghdad and most of modern Iraq, having lost it for several years, the war became a stalemate as the Persians were unable to press further into the Ottoman Empire.
The initial Ottoman-Safavid conflict culminated in the Battle of Chaldiran in 1514 and was followed by a century of border confrontation. The Ottoman-Safavid War of 1623 to 1639 was the last of a series of conflicts fought between the Ottoman Empire and Safavid Persia, and the two powers of the Near East over control of Mesopotamia. After initial Persian success in recapturing Baghdad and most of modern Iraq, having lost it for several years, the war became a stalemate as the Persians were unable to press further into the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottomans themselves were distracted by wars in Europe and weakened by internal turmoil. At the end of the war, Safavid Persia and Ottoman Empire signed the Treaty of Zuhab, which recognized Iraq in Ottoman control and decisively parted the Caucasus in two between the two empires.
At the beginning of this period, the European presence in the Islamic world was largely based on trade. Dutch, French, English, and Portuguese merchants first arrived in the late 15th century, attracted by the wealth that could be acquired in exporting luxury items to the European market, and encouraged by both the Mughal and Safavid governments. During this time of economic improvements for both the Europeans and Safavids, there was little conflict between the two countries. During the reign of the Safavid Empire, religion was a huge pillar for the Safavid dynasty. However, religion was also a strict matter and tightly controlled. For example, if you lived within the borders of the empire, all religions were suppressed except for Shia Islam. To ensure this, people caught supporting other religions could face the punishment of death. To get another idea on how faith was so important and how it was strictly controlled, Persian religious scholars were entered into service and paid by governments.
During the peak of the Safavid Empire, Shah Abbas I had established the nation as the center of trade in the Islamic world. By protecting and setting up trade routes such as the Silk Road, trade was very accessible between both Europe and Asia. When the economy was booming, many different workshops were set up to produce goods such as silks, textiles, and carpets. Main exports from the agricultural industry also included spices, coffee, and sugar. Trading luxury goods such as spices greatly benefited the economy because these goods could sell for very high prices as they weren't grown locally in places like Europe, so it had to be exported. However, during the downfall of the Safavid Empire, the economy began to falter and Safavid no longer held the trading capital in the Islamic world.
The Safavid decline began with rulers with little political skill and desires other than running an empire. For example, Shah Safi, ruler from 1629 to 1642, as well as his successor Shah Abbas II, who ruled from 1642 to 1666, were ineffective due to their interest in sexual pleasures, drugs, and subsequently both died at a very young age. However, this wasn't the only problem leading to the Safavid downfall. With a corrupt bureaucracy and government officials, peasant revolts, external conflicts from rival Muslim empires and other empires that were threatening to take land, and a non-cooperating army unwilling to make changes that might take away military power. With additional losses of territory and both economic and military setbacks, it was the first sign of weakness that shined through to the Mongols. After many years of struggle, the final downfall of the Safavid Empire came on October 1722.